Please have a
Good
seat.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello Madhav, tell me something about yourself.
So my name is Madhav Agarwal. I am a chartered accountant by profession and I
Okay.
have work experience in audit and taxation.
Okay.
I come from City of Music, Gwalior.
Okay.
I have done my education from Indore and my final college was from Mumbai. Currently I volunteer as an organ donation awareness ambassador with an NGO.
Okay.
And my interests include fusion cooking, sir.
What does mean by fusion cooking?
Sir, fusion cooking would involve mixing different types of cuisines and their techniques, sir, to
Okay.
create a dish.
Okay. So why Madhav generally people opt their home cadre? Why you not opt your home cadre?
Sir, though there is a preference for home cadre, sir, I basically analyzed the last 10 years vacancies that were there in my category from insider, sir, and I found there were no vacancies in my cadre, sir.
Okay.
So because of that decision, I thought that it does not make sense to opt for Madhya Pradesh as of now, which is why I skipped it.
That is the only cause.
Yes, sir. This was the main cause, sir.
Okay. Okay. So Madhav, at present scenario, what would you think about Russia-Ukraine war? Just brief on Russia-Ukraine war. What would be the outcome related with India economical issue?
Sir, the Russia-Ukraine war has become a frozen war, sir.
Okay.
It is now seen to be tilted towards Russia. It is aggressing and it controls close to 1/6 of Ukraine as of now, sir.
Okay.
So it has a higher edge as of now. In the economic terms, sir, it has impacted different aspects, sir. We have got an opportunity to buy crude oil from Russia, which has led to reduction in our current account deficit.
Okay.
And it has also impacted our imports, sir. We used to import sunflower oil from Ukraine, Russia, as well as different fertilizers. So that have led to our increase in our costs.
Do you find any similarities between Russia-Ukraine war and Israel-Hamas war? Do you find any similarities? What are that similarities?
So one similarity could be the division of the global powers, sir.
Okay.
Both sides have seen division of the global power as a whole. For example, Israel usually being supported by the Western Bloc, as with Ukraine, while the Palestinians and the Hamas, they are usually getting support from the Arab world, sir, such as Iran or believed to be other global powers as well. So this is one division of the world is one factor. The impact on the global economy is another. Both these wars have impacted the global economy and supply chains. We have seen the attacks in Red Sea, which has impacted our imports of crude oil from Russia and other aspects.
So you belong to a city of music.
Yes, sir.
So do you have an interest in specific music? Which type of music?
Sir, particularly my interests are in cooking, sir.
Okay.
Before I could get a hang of music, I think hockey stick was given in my hand before I could have got flute or some other music instrument. But I really aspire to learn guitar, sir.
Okay. Yes. So will you give some famous guitarist name to whom you like most?
So there is no particular guitarist that I follow.
Okay.
I just like the guitar instrument because it allows you to mix up with people and have a good time.
Your optional is commerce. You are basically a chartered accountant.
Yes.
What do you think at a ground level, how it helps to eradicate a problem at a very ground level? How your optional helps at that specific scenario or a point?
Sir, being auditors, we have already seen a lot of issues pertaining to finance sector.
Okay.
There are basic processes that we audit. For example, the financial controls, verification of financial controls, which is done by internal auditor. So those same controls can be applied in our office. For example, a very basic concept of maker checker. Is there a maker checker in our department approving the different contracts? Who is signing which bill? That could be the process that can be audited and properly streamlined.
That is only a specific area.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So, have you read about Ashtang Yoga, Patanjali Ashtang Yoga? Do you know about it?
Yes, sir, I've heard.
Will you please elaborate it?
Sir, the Ashtang Yoga given by Patanjali ji is a eightfold path,
Okay.
and it elaborates on different aspects of yoga.
Okay.
For example, pranayam, ahar, swasthahar, etc. There are different pillars. I'm not able to recall all the pillars.
Okay. Do you know the sequence of Ashtang 8, the path, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam?
Yes,
Actually, the sequence in ascending order. Huh?
No, sir, I'm not read that in detail.
Okay, okay. So, what do you think about character building? As you know, and you always heard that character building is very important for man making. What does it mean? What does it mean by character? And how it is important in man making?
Sir, there is a difference of being educated and being wise, sir. So a wise person would have a good character.
Okay.
And only with good character you can ensure that whatever opportunities are there available with you, you are using it in proper use, efficient use, and for welfare of all, sir. So if an auditor, he may be competent enough in his job, but if he is not having a good character, there are chances that he will align with the company and indulge in frauds. So there the character comes into importance, sir.
Okay. Do you have any role models in your life?
Sir, I see my grandfather as my role model, sir.
Why?
Sir, we have been a family which has migrated from Rajasthan.
Okay.
I was born and brought up in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
So he started different businesses in here, lived a very simple life, and established the whole family, sir.
Okay.
Still, he has a very disciplined life. He wakes up every day at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., does his yoga and all the religious spiritual activities. I really like these things about him, sir.
So, do you follow or only like it?
Yes, sir. I am very fortunate that I live with my grandfather and we share the same room, and those habits are also incorporated within me, and I have also become a morning person, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So, Madhav, you come from the Agarwals, right?
Yes, sir.
So, Agarwals means Vaishyas.
Yes, yes.
And you have the commerce,
Yes.
optional also. So, do you think right now, in the current context, is this relation between Vaishyas and trade is still there in India? How do you see this? I mean, traditionally, Vaishyas means trade. So,
Yes, sir.
how is it today?
Sir, generally, the Agarwal and the Vaishyas community have been associated with the business culture. Multiple or majority of them still are engaged in different types of trading businesses or have their own business empires. But I think the situation has also changed. We have multiple examples where examples on both sides basically. So we have famous civil servants also who are into the same community, doctors, etc. So I wouldn't say there's a perfect ratio of being business class, but yeah, sir, to a certain extent it is.
Still, we have top businessmen coming from the Vaishyas,
Yes,
like
sir.
Bansals,
Yeah, sir.
Lakshmi Nivas Mittal,
Yes, sir.
Ambanis.
So even the recent
Adani.
startup owners, sir.
Yes, recent startup owners. So,
Yes.
what do you think is the reason for that? I mean, if business is a trained skill or it is something which is taught in the management colleges, what is there? What is special thing is there in your families which you think makes you good businessman? Means there must be something which
Yes,
is
sir.
inherent in your
Yes.
families, the Agarwal families.
Sir, I think one aspect could be the focus on education, sir. Often these families focus on proper education of their children. Second is the practical education that they get from family businesses. So they are socialized in a way where they see everything revolving around business. So their decisions to take simple decisions like going on a holiday, it has to be based on the business timeline, etc. So these factors, I think, give them proper practical knowledge, and with proper capital and support from their family, they have an edge towards starting different businesses.
So, as you are a chartered accountant,
Yes, sir.
do you see recently the profession of accounting is in bad reputation? And if yes, then what are the reasons for that?
Sir, this would be a blanket statement to make that the whole profession is in a bad name, but we have seen few examples where the involvement of CAs was being alleged in terms of fraud, sir, be it the PNB or the INFS fraud or the erstwhile Satyam scam. All these frauds denoted that if auditors would have exercised proper professional skepticism and followed the principles of audit, they would have deciphered the fraud. This is what the analysis says, sir. But ultimately, sir, there are bad elements in each and every profession. Our profession and its accounting bodies are capable enough to reap them out so that our profession name is well maintained.
Okay, so right now, as a chartered accountant, are you involved into some practice or doing something?
Sir, I was engaged as an associate with a CA firm, sir. I am not into practice personally.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So suppose you are you are in your firm. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Consider that you have been associating with your
Yes.
firm. You are in a firm, and one client comes to you, and that client has earned 5 crores of amount through illegal means. Okay. He comes to you, and he tells you that how to convert this into white money. So, what will be your response?
Sir, as a chartered accountant, we undergo a training of ethics as well, sir. We have a code of ethics that we follow, and if my friend or some client has come to me with such a corpus, my advice would be to him to come clean, because if not today, tomorrow he'll get caught, sir. And any advice that I'll give would amount to a violation of my professional ethics. So basically, in some amnesty scheme, if it is some legal amount, he can come clean. Otherwise, sir, my advice won't be to cover that thing.
You are a
anymore.
professional. I got your point. You are a professional, and generally, when someone has good amount of money, they look towards CA, the practicing CA, and they basically look forward that how can I manage this money. So, I mean, can you tell me some ways through which people convert the black money into white money? Some practical ways. I mean, suppose I give you 5 crore rupees of black money. So, how will you convert this into white money? You are a CA, so I think you might know.
Sir, there are multiple ways in which people do such activities. We read them a lot in newspapers, etc. One is the use of NGOs. Sometimes the funds are mobilized through NGOs and are shown as white money.
Can you just explain the mechanism in detail? How does that happen?
Sir, those could be through quid pro quo transactions. For example, if I'm sharing the money with NGO based in, say, in cash amount, donations within the certain limits, then those are converted into white through sale of some goods or sale of some services by the NGO, such as handicraft goods, etc. So ultimately, when the amount is mobilized, it is again returned back to the same investor by showing it as receipts. This is one of the way. The other aspect is also opening different crisscross businesses. So they will open different businesses, show inflated sales over there without corresponding use of raw materials, and while they increase their sales and convert their black money into white money.
So the same thing that which you are talking right now in the international economics, in the international business, what do we call that? There is a particular name given to this transaction which you are speaking right now.
Sir, I am not sure, sir.
Okay. Have you heard about under invoicing, over invoicing?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is done for there is a technical term, base erosion and profit shifting.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So are you aware about base erosion and profit shifting?
Yes, sir.
So can you throw some light over this? Which agency has given this idea and what exactly India is doing in this?
Sir, the base erosion and profit shifting is basically a mechanism to ensure we are getting properly, we are properly taxing the MNCs, which usually shift their profits from high tax economies to a lower tax haven countries. So base erosion and profit shifting was put forward by OECD, and India is also supporting that mechanism. And under that, we are on the verge of entering into a contract of global minimum tax of 15%, sir. So any country should not have a minimum tax below 15%, so that there is no race to the bottom, and an efficient tax system can operate, sir.
So do you think this will be successful? I mean, there are so many tax havens.
Yes, sir.
And these tax havens survive because of this type of transactions only. So do you think this will find a real, I mean, it will become real someday that all the countries throughout the world, they accept it? Some countries will accept because those countries who already have the good taxation, transparent, they have good economy, they don't survive on these. So they are not the problem.
Yes,
They are
sir.
not the, they do not find, they are not the problem. They means they
Correct,
don't
sir.
pose the challenge. The main challenge is posed by the tax haven countries.
Yes, sir.
So are the tax haven countries also agreeing to this phenomena? Do you know about this? Do you have information about this?
Sir, I do not have the exact information, sir, but the challenge is this only, to engage with different tax haven countries and ensure that a global minimum tax is incorporated. This could be done through multiple mechanisms of diplomacy, dialogue, or if required, some economic sanctions can be imposed by international bodies such as OECD to bring them on board, sir. In the long run, we'll have to ensure that they have alternate mechanisms of earning for their economies. Otherwise, they'll go back to such practices.
Do you know about PFMS system?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is public finance management system, which is used by Government of India to manage its finances in terms of its cash accounts, etc. Through this portal, different ministries are linked, and amounts of different schemes are shared with the state governments and local governments.
Okay. So, as we are discussing about various erosion and profit shifting,
Yes, sir.
one of the concept is money laundering, right?
Yes, sir.
So recently, money laundering has been in news, lot of places, right?
Yes, sir.
And there is an agency, famous agency, Enforcement Directorate,
Yes, sir.
which is alleged to be politicized. So how do you find? I mean, this money laundering is really happening, or it is just politicization of this word money laundering also, as it used to be in case of income tax earlier?
Sir, money laundering as a crime, sir, even Supreme Court has recognized it to be a crime that not only violates the economic but social fabric of the country. So money laundering promotes other crimes like human trafficking, organ trafficking, or some smuggling, etc. Sir, based on different FATF report, we can say that money laundering is on a rise due to use of different technologies such as cryptocurrency also. So there could, again, sir, making a blanket statement that all the cases of Enforcement Directorate are politicized would be a wrong thing to say, sir. Recently only the top executives of Vivo have been arrested for money laundering, sir. So Chinese firms in the past, in other countries such as US, UK, Italy, they are also undergoing investigations of money laundering. So
Okay.
there must
So
be some
then
merit.
why do they launder the money? I mean, what is the exact mechanism they follow?
Sir, money laundering they do is by repatriation of profits. So they shift their funds. For example, India is taxing new companies at 15%, foreign companies at 22% for other companies. So rather than getting taxed by 22%, they will show, say, some administrative expenses by the head company, or salaries paid to the employees of the head company, transfer of some expenses, etc., or inflating the raw materials or advices that they get from the head company. So in that way, they will shift their funds from home country to the foreign country, sir.
Okay. So how do you find this black money in India? I mean, government has taken so many steps for removal of black money, minimizing black money. How much is the current level of black money, and what do you think should be done to minimize the black money further?
Sir, I do not have the exact details, but it is almost believed that the black economy is as much as the total economy of our country, sir. Almost a parallel economy is running in terms of black. Sir, to tackle this issue, I think reducing from a cash economy to a cashless economy through use of digital transactions would be one step. Easing our tax compliances, income tax, etc. Say the taxation of capital gain is very complex, sir. So almost people try to avoid it. So if we could relax those compliances and focusing on different assets which often people use to park their black money, such as gold, jewelry, or real estate. So in those sectors, if we could increase the circle rates, etc. So based on that, we can plug the black money in those segments.
So, like Indian currency is not a hard currency, as you know. What are the steps that government is taking to internationalize the Indian currency?
Sir, for internationalization, particularly we are entering into agreements with different countries, such as we entered into one with UAE, and very recently we had a transaction of crude oil in terms of rupee. The opening up of different accounts in Indian as well as the foreign country banks in Nostro and the Vostro accounts are open, and different advisories are issued so that trade can be aided in our rupee currency. This we also saw in case of Russia, sir.
So, what are the challenges in internationalization?
Sir, the challenges which are often quoted are lack of penetration of Indian banks in the other countries. One aspect is the balance of trade, sir. For example, in case of Russia, we are importing around 4 to 5 billion. Russia is importing around 4 to 5 billion, but we are importing around 40 plus billion. So there is a gap of 36 billion. So what would Russia do with the $36 billion worth of rupees? So we'll have to build some chain of economies. For example, Russia may not buy as much exports from India, but it might be engaged with Saudi Arabia or UAE, while UAE is engaged with India. So in a crisscross format, we can promote internationalization of rupee, sir. And I think the question is not when, sir, not if. The question is when, sir. It's soon be done, sir. And it is a process. It will gradually, without any target, be achieved, sir.
Okay. So, in the commerce optional, you also study the management subjects.
Yes, sir.
So, did you ever think what is the difference between the leadership style of a civil servant and leadership style of a corporate manager? Can you throw some light?
Yes, sir.
And if you can relate with some thinker, I mean, if you can relate.
Sir, I'd like to take a few seconds.
Sure, take your time.
Sir, the leadership style of bureaucrats are based on the theory of Weber, sir. They are often bound within the different rules that they have to operate, and within the rules, if there is an opportunity to use a different external environment of professionalism, they can basically graduate from a machine bureaucracy to a professional bureaucracy, and in that way they could take some leadership initiatives, which we have seen from multiple civil service officers, sir. But in case of a corporate leader, sir, it could incorporate different leadership styles, sir. One could either be democratic or autocratic at times. Usually, corporate leaders are they aspire to be a contingent leader and basically try to change their leadership style based on the situation of the characteristics of the people they are leading or the situation, sir.
So, do you think India at this stage, when we are a developing country and we want to become a developed country, still the Weberian style of leadership is suitable for the civil servants, especially the top bureaucrats? Do you think they should? Don't you think they should also behave like the corporate top professionals, use the contingent approach?
Sir, we very well know the shortfalls of the bureaucratic approach, sir. If we just stick to it, we'll kill the innovation that is possible. So the higher ends of the civil servants, yes, sir, you are very right. We must aim for a corporate style of leadership while ensuring that we are well within the rules, because often the higher civil services are the officers are the one who will design the rules itself. So they must have the ability to think outside of the box and bring policies and measures that really aid in development of India.
Do you think this selection of the civil servants, the process that we follow right now, selection process, is it perfect system of selection, or do you find that do you think there should be some improvement? There are some issues that we still face in the selection, like still people are unethical and they represent to be ethical, and similarly once they get the job they become lethargic. So what do you think we can do in the selection process of the civil servant, as you have studied some subject like human resource management, so you can use the knowledge of that subject and you can throw some light.
Sir, one thing that I often find as a challenge as an aspirant is to choose which type of service would be suitable for me. So if I am opting for administrative service, police service or foreign service per se, then am I a able foreign service officer? Could I become a proper police service officer? So in the selection process or before the selection process, if there could be some exposure given to the students that these kinds of job will have these kinds of activities that you'll have to do. This could be done through use of technology. Different corporates are using virtual reality as a measure to give exposure to their employees before they are hired about the culture of the government. So that way we could further match the competency of the aspirant with the requirement of the job, sir. Otherwise, one would not be really happy in the job which they do, even if after getting selected. So that way we can make the selection process more smooth, sir.
So as you come from the accounting background, there is a general perception that the accounting services, like we have civil account service,
Yes, sir.
we have defense account service, there are so many accounting services,
Yes, sir.
and we find more than 80% people, in fact sometimes even it can be 100% also, they are from the non-accounting background.
Yes.
So
yes.
don't you think this is a flaw of the selection process which we are doing right now? Do it, and if that is a problem, then how it is sustaining for so many years, more than 70 years of post independence? So what is your take on this? I mean, is it okay, is it manageable, or should we change it?
Sir, the beauty of today's governance is that it has become very complex and diverse. People from all professions can be incorporated into our governance system. For example, if they are doctors, recently we have seen during the fight towards pandemic, the committees which were formed, they were having administrative officers who are also doctors. So in that way we realize their potential. Similarly is the case with other aspects, sir. If they are engineers, our different services have different components where we could use their professional expertise. The idea must be to match their proper professional competency with which their role they are doing.
In this case, it is not matching. In this case, in account service, even in IRS, we find majority of the officers are from the non-finance background.
Yes.
They learn the accounting.
Yes, yes.
So, do you think that they might be impacting the efficiency of the IRS as a profession, as a service?
Sir, of course, if you have a base in accounting or finance, you will get a specialized edge in terms of your service in accounting or revenue services. But the training program of the government is designed in such a way, it is so elaborate and detailed that it provides basic level of expertise to each and every candidate. And practical experience, work experience, we keep on learning different aspects of the job, sir. But recently, even Mission Karmyogi, which has been launched by the government, it also tries to map the different activities and turning the organization from a rule-based to a role-based model. That will also go a long way to match the competency, sir. And this aspect can also be think that we can, from the selection stage itself, we can try to motivate students to take up the same professions.
In fact, there has been a effort towards this, like lateral entry. The people from the specialized field, they have been appointed in the specialized ministries.
Yes.
Like people from the taxation background, they have been appointed in the Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
Some kind of effort is already going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, correct.
So do you think uh, like in India we are entering into stagflation? Any idea about this?
Sir, stagflation is a situation where we have high rate of inflation and stagnant economic growth. So either the rate is flat or it is falling. But in the case of India, sir, we have the exact opposite of it. We have moderate level of inflation as pointed out by recent IMF reports, and we have a rising rate of interest rates, sir. So in the last 2 quarters, we have clocked around 6.3, 6.7% of growth, and we are aiming to end at 7% as per RBI. So I do not think, sir, we have stagflation in our economy, sir.
So recently there was a report by the government that these credit rating agencies, their criteria is not okay.
Yes.
They don't see the India in the proper light.
Yes, sir.
So do you think is it meritorious report or is it just for the sake of defending we are defending?
Sir, the arguments which have been put forward by Government of India are worth thinking about. So the different criteria which the credit rating agencies use, they are often not clear. So they use the consultation from different experts in the economy, but how are they selecting those experts? Those criteria are not very well known. Even the weightage which is given by different rating agencies are different, and they are not very transparent about it. The third aspect which the Government of India pointed out was, say, different credit agencies like Fitch, they overweight economies which have banks having higher foreign ownership, while India has banks which have greater public investment, such as the PSU banks. So those are getting underweight despite being very large banks like SBI. So there is a merit in the argument, and we are a fourth largest economy. Our forex reserves are well above our external debt, close to 630 billion. So all these points out that we have never ever defaulted on our debt. So, and we are in a triple B negative rating since very long, sir, which is almost the end of investment grade. So there must be some upgrade on this, sir.
So in the Companies Act there is a provision on corporate social responsibility.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever assessed the effectiveness of this provision? Is it helpful in really transferring the fund from the corporate to the social activity? So can you throw some light over this practically? I mean, what is happening in the real life?
Sir, practically, I would see CSR as an opportunity for corporates to connect with the society, sir. They are not operating in vacuum and they are a part of it, which can be seen from initiatives like the JSW Steel. They support our sports persons who bring laurels for our country in Olympics. So that is one aspect. Different institutions such as Piramal, they are building water ATMs in the villages in Rajasthan by providing them adequate water resources. Other corporate,
And there are some misusage also.
Yes,
like
sir.
What kind of misuse is happening?
Sir, the misuse that happen is often there is no independent verification of the work done by the corporates. So if they are investing into water ATMs, what is the exact cost which was required? So we must, the need of the hour is to use some external accredited consultants, CSR consultants, who can verify these processes. Some companies also get their CSR activities properly audited for verification. I think this is a best practice we must promote, sir.
Do you know the Ponzi scheme frauds? So recently, Sahara Group was in news because of the death of the owner of the Sahara Group. So what kind of Ponzi scam frauds are there recently, if any, and what can be done to prevent such frauds?
Sir, I'm not able to recall the exact Ponzi frauds that happened recently, but the overall nature of Ponzi scam is to try to pass on the debt from one person to another. So one person tries to bring more people into the scheme, and this chain of events is followed. I think greater financial education to the people, so that they recognize there are no shortcuts to earning good returns. I think that could be a way forward, along with the regulations by the government.
So you are a chartered accountant, and right now stock markets are in the bull run.
Yes, sir.
So, do you take interest in stock market? Have some idea?
Sir, I do not invest in it particularly, but I do have an interest, sir.
So suppose, okay, let me change the question to a different direction. In the same, I have 50 lakh rupees, and I want a suggestion from you. You are my portfolio manager.
Yes.
So how should I divide my money to be invested into various avenues? So how many options I have,
yes.
and what will be your suggestion that how should I utilize this money? How should I make my portfolio?
Sir, a portfolio management decision is very personal, sir. So first I will have to understand your return expectations and your risk appetite, sir. So if your return expectations are moderate and your risk appetite is also moderate, I'll advise you to have a higher portion of equities in your portfolio. There is a thumb rule which is followed, say 100 minus your age. That is the portion of equity that you should have. So at a younger age, you will have a greater portion, and as you grow old, you reduce the risk in your portfolio. If you have an expectation of having a large corpus at the end of say 10 or 20 years, for a safer investment, you can allocate them to a risk-free or say high growth mutual fund. Debt can also be preferred if exact annuity kind of returns are expected by you. The other aspects of investments will also include alternate investments such as real estate, arts, etc.
Okay, sir, you have to ask.
Madhav, you are from Gwalior.
Yes, sir.
Can you give some examples of famous personalities from Gwalior?
Sir, Gwalior has been a land of multiple famous personalities, sir, including the famous musician Tansen, Mia Tansen, politicians like Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, or the other famous lyricist and musician Javed Akhtar ji. Famous hockey player Roop Singh was also from Gwalior. These are the famous.
Okay. Can you give some brief overview about the history of Gwalior?
Sir, Gwalior as a city started, as per the legends, first by a king named Surya Sen Pal, sir. And based on a interaction with a saint who cured his leprosy because of a sacred pond, the water from a sacred pond, he created the Gwalior fort over there. And for more than 80 generations, he was a ruler over there, sir. Later on, the commands of Gwalior passed through multiple heads. In the medieval times also, it was under the control of the Delhi Sultanate. And then in the later part, the rulers of Tomars came into play. Ultimately, before going into the hands of Britishers, it was part of the Maratha Confederacy and included the Scindia dynasty as its fort.
Okay. During Mughal time period, was there any significance of Gwalior?
Sir, Delhi being very close to Gwalior, sometimes the Gwalior fort was used as for different activities. Even Emperor Babur, he described Gwalior fort as a pearl in the necklaces of India, sir. So that was an attraction towards Gwalior, and sometimes the Gwalior fort was also used as a jail to store different prisoners.
All right. So during Mughal time period, do you have some idea about what kind of taxation they followed? Any idea on that?
Sir, the taxation in general, I have an idea. They followed the taxation based on the quality of the land, sir. So if it was irrigated for every year, then there would be a higher rate of tax compared to if it is left fallow for say 1, 2 or 3 years. So a graded approach of taxation was followed. Generally, it was 1/6, sir, 1/6 of the land revenue.
Do you know who is Todarmal?
Yes, sir.
What is his role? So who is he, Todarmal?
Sir, as far as I can recall, sir, Todarmal was a part of the Navratnas of Akbar, and he was his finance minister, and he was behind his setting up of proper land revenue for the Akbar and his empire. So he gave this approach of measuring the quality of the land before its taxation. So yes, sir, he was the main brain behind this approach.
Okay. Was Akbar first time started those reforms, or was there any person before Akbar these reforms started?
Sir, I think before Akbar, even Sher Shah Suri also was
Right.
engaged in such reforms.
Yeah, Todarmal was minister of Sher Shah Suri also.
Okay.
Later he continued under Akbar also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay, sir.